So today I wanted to talk about why TV shows seem to have beaten movies. Hope you enjoy. What's up, this is Vin Jim. I hope you're having a smashing day, and if this is your first time to the channel, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss my upcoming videos. For the rest of you, thank you for joining me once again. So, it's something that we've all probably noticed lately. It's that TV shows, TV series, whatever you want to call it. I mean, there's not that much. It doesn't have to be a TV. You can actually watch Netflix on your smartphone or your iPad. But shows, nevertheless, seem to be better than movies. And this is an interesting question. Why? I think that the thing is that TVs don't have the same downside that longer movies have. Longer movies have this problem. They have a maximum of like 2 hours. There are exceptions to this rule. There are movies that can be done in 1 hour and 30 minutes. There are movies that can be done in 3 or 4 hours. But in general, most movies have to sort of 2 hours maximum. You know, it's it has to do that people just don't have the energy to sit in a movie theater for longer than that. You make a 2-hour movie mostly for as a cinematic experience at the movie theater, and we all love it. I do. I sure know I do. But you sort of have to make a story that works for 2 hours. You don't have any more. You can make a sequel, but you then sort of have to count on the fact that people find part 1 so interesting that they'll go out and see part 2. And most of the time you can't bank on it, so you just focus on making that one movie. And for most part, it works as long as you stick to a certain structure. If you can look at most movies, I'm talking about all sorts of movies, drama movies, to like Marvel movies, there is a structure to it. There is a 5-point structure in exactly every movie. You can sort of pinpoint exactly where all these steps happen in every movie, and it starts with the bear on the beach scenario, when you have to have everything is wonderful and then something happens. If you don't have that, there's no reason to proceed with the story, etc. And there's a formula to it, and you sort of have to stick to this formula. The moment you go a bit off, people think that this is not a good movie. Something felt off. And why? Because they're so used to it. They're so used to this 5-point structure that anything that dips below it or over it just doesn't work. It's the same thing, with the 24 frames per second thing. The moment you start to play around with 30 frames per second or 48 frames per second, people just feel that there's something off about this movie. Personally, for me, I like it to have the highest frame rate ever. Like, put it up in 60 frames per second. That's what I would like the most. But I understand that most people also like that cinematic look, that sort of blurriness to it. It does have its charm. And it's the same thing with the story script. Now, TV shows, they work on a completely different base. They work on character development. And when you have character development, there is like no 5 points to a character. You can have several characters, and you can follow one character in one episode, and then you can follow another character in the next episode, and there is different focuses, and you don't really have this momentum where you have to proceed with the same story. You can sort of jump around in a TV show as long as you sort of still stick to the main story. If you just connect the dots somehow, and this makes it tremendously much easier for writers to make something interesting. They don't have to feel forced to work along these 5 points. They can make an episode that focuses completely on just one conversation. Like Walking Dead is a perfect example of this. That's probably one of the slowest TV shows I've ever seen, and yet it's so entertaining, yet it's so slow, because they focus so much on the dialogue and the sort of situation of it. And it has a completely different playbook, so to speak, than something like a movie. And I think that a lot of us moviegoers today, we're sort of tired of that old 5-point formula. And for us, it's sort of refreshing to see something that breaks the rules when we don't know what to anticipate. But, you know, going to the cinema, watching something like Avatar, you just know in the first couple of scenes how that movie is gonna end. There's gonna be some big battle, and the good guys are gonna win. And why? Because that's the plot for every movie. Unless there are some exceptions, but mostly that's the plot line. So again, in a TV show, there is just more surprises. There's more to play with. You can be original, you can be unique, you don't have to stick to a certain formula. Every episode could have a completely different tone. So I think that TV should definitely have something more to offer than movies. And in this day and age, with the whole digital, you know, Netflix, watching movies on your phone, on YouTube, you can play with this completely differently. Now, connecting this to the topic that we usually do, and that is, of course, Cobra Kai, would it have worked as a movie? I think, yeah, it could have, and maybe even should have, but I'm going to cover that in a different episode. So that's just my point on it. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with my theory, and what do you prefer, movies or TV shows? Let me know in the comment section below. Catch you later.
Okay, that was it. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, see that like button, smash it. And I got some freakishly awesome videos coming up. Better subscribe so you don't miss a beat. I'll see you later. Peace.